for joining us today and welcome to Kids Church. My name is Anne and I am so excited to be with you today. I've not been in this studio yet so far and I'm a bit curious about what's around me. But first, let's take a look at our memory verse.
Hey kids, are you ready for our memory verse today? I want you to stand up with me. Here we go. I walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. I'm going to do it again. I want you to copy me. Ready? I walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. How did you go? Let's try it one more time all together. Here we go. I walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7.
Have you got the memory verse? I hope you have. So, the studio here does look a bit different. Not nearly as technical as it was before. It's rather interesting to see what's in here. Someone planned a whole load of things. Look at that. I'm a bit curious about what this does. But then down here, look, there's some sand. I wonder whether we're going to be looking at something to do with the desert. And then little bits of brick. How strange. And then a trowel and, oh, big bricks. What's happening? Hello there. Sorry, I don't want to lose my counter bricks. I don't lose the counter bricks. The masters demand that our team have to make 2,000 bricks. It's hard work. My hands are calloused. We start work at dawn and then work right the way through till the sun goes down. It's all I've ever known. I started making bricks when I was 13. My father made bricks. His father before him made bricks. I'm not sure how many generations we've lived here as slaves now. There was a time, my father talks about it all the time, of how we were a free people when Abraham heard from God. There was the promise of being a great nation. The things God did for Abraham, for Isaac, and his son Jacob. It doesn't seem to make any difference now. All we do as slaves is work, work, work. There's lots of us, but I'm not sure you call us a great nation. We are totally in the hands of Pharaoh. And he, for one, does not like us. Oh no. Gone are the days of Joseph, who found favor with the Pharaoh then. Anything that this Pharaoh can do to make our lives harder, he'll do. I wonder whether God has forgotten his promise to Abraham. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob seems a really long way away. I can't see where his hand is upon us right now. But perhaps one day he'll remember us. Perhaps one day it'll be different. Gotta go to sleep.
Approximately 10 days later.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You would not believe what has happened these last few days. It all started when Moses went to Pharaoh and said to him that he, Pharaoh, must let us, the Israelites, go to the mountain to worship God. And Pharaoh, what a surprise, said no. And then Pharaoh said we wouldn't be given straw we have to now gather our straw to make the bricks. We were already making 2,000 bricks. How are we meant to do that? A hard job just got harder. Moses told us that what God had told him and reminded him to tell us was of the promise that he had made to Abraham. That was years ago. And I have to admit, we didn't really pay much attention. Moses, and maybe God, had just made a hard job so much harder work for us. A load of my team said how much they hated Moses and wished he'd shut up. I think I felt the same. But there was something about Moses. He seemed to know the God that was talking to him. And he trusted what God said. I want that. I want to trust God, even when things don't seem to be working out. I want to know him that well. Anyway, so Moses didn't give up. He went back to Pharaoh again and again, and each time Pharaoh said no. But when Pharaoh said no, guess what? God brought a plague upon the Egyptians. Not on us. All the Israelites were good. But first, there was the river that they all drank from and they all bathed in. Well, that river turned to blood. Then a load of frogs, then a swarm of gnats, then they were everywhere, then the flies, and so it went on. Pharaoh got madder and madder. We were so afraid until Pharaoh finally said, you'll never believe it, he said we could go. And then he changed his mind. Well, this then seemed to make God mad. So now we got Pharaoh mad and God mad. Is this the God that Abraham knew? He seems incredible. And do you know what I really want? I want to start to worship him better, knowing who he is. Because I feel like I can see him now. Which is strange when the plague today is darkness. But I'm not afraid anymore. I'm kind of strangely excited. Well, what a change those days made for that Israelite. All the Israelites had ever known was slavery. They were born slaves, and they thought that they would die a slave. They had heard about the God of Abraham, but didn't know him. Maybe they hadn't heard him speak to them, and so they didn't trust him yet. But as the Israelites saw how Moses knew God and trusted him, that Israelite wanted the same thing. We have an incredible privilege in that we get to come to church, hear about God. But today I want to ask you, do you actually know him? Not just do you know about him, but do you know his voice? And therefore, even if life gets a bit bumpy and hard, can you still trust him because you know who he is?